I just go in with no energy. What's
Let's
up,
do it.
everybody? Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes, episode 104. No time for nonsense. Al's here. Liam is MIA. He's out doing some things right now. So it's just Mike and Al here. The Patriots don't deserve a rowdy, rousing Tuck Rule Takes entrance.
Nope.
We're just gonna get right into it. There's no nonsense to talk about. No Taylor Swift stuff, unfortunately. But they put up a fight. That's the most we can ask for. But they lost to the Raiders 21-17. They dropped to 1-5. I think if the season ended today, they have the 6th pick, I believe. Something like that. I don't remember, Al, exactly what we said, but did we say if the Patriots lost this game, the season is pretty much over, pretty much done?
Essentially, I mean, look at their upcoming schedule. Like the Bills, I understand. I know the Bills. I'm not going to say this. The Bills are not as good as they've been the last couple of seasons, but they're still good enough to beat this Patriots team. I mean, they should,
Yeah.
right? And then you have
The Dolphins.
Excuse me. Yeah, you got Miami, who's looking like the best team in football.
Yep.
And then that winnable stretch, and I'm saying this in air quotes now, Mike, that winnable stretch. I mean, you're playing the Commanders that are kind of not bad. The Colts, I mean, we say they should beat, but who knows? Like, what are the real winnable games left on their schedule? Like, you feel good about, like the Giants, the Broncos, the Jets, maybe?
So I got it pulled up. So you were right. So we're just gonna skip over the Bills and the Dolphins because I mean, even like I'll still obviously root for them and hope they win, but let's be honest, I don't think so. The Commanders, I mean, it's an NFC team. You don't see them that much, maybe. But again, I'm not going into that super confident. The Colts, I don't know. Like, again, you feel somewhat confident. The Giants is really the only game where I'm going to go into feeling confident, but who knows, in that game, Saquon Barkley maybe runs all over you. But,
right, exactly.
But yeah, that winnable stretch though, like you said, Commanders, Colts, Giants,
Chargers.
You only feel confident with the Giants, and you got the Chargers, who, I mean, you beat the Chargers. I mean, the Patriots normally do well against them. Then you have the Steelers. I mean, you want to look at that and hope that, you could beat the Steelers. They don't have anything really great on offense to talk about, but then you got the Chiefs on my birthday. I mean, that's about as optimistic as the Bills and the Dolphins game. Broncos on Christmas Eve. Okay, sure. Maybe, but that'll probably be a game where Russell Wilson comes out and looks like Russell Wilson of fucking his prime Seahawk years. And then you end with the Bills and the Jets, where, I mean, shit, the Jets look like they're fucking 1-2 with the Bills in the AFC East right now.
Right.
I mean, and the Dolphins too. Like, everybody. Yeah, I don't know. And the thing that, and we are going to talk about the game a little bit, but just kind of talking kind of broad strokes right now. Like, where there's really no team in the AFC other than your top, like, whatever, Bills, Miami, Chiefs, you even throw the Ravens in there if you want, that like really scare you, which kind of sucks for the Patriots this year, because this was the year. Like, if they wanted to kind of jump or, kind of make some moves, get into the playoffs, like, we complained, or like a lot of the NFL world complained about like parity for the longest time. But this year, more than any other year, and it might be because either the competition's so good or it's kind of shitty, but like this would have been the year for the Patriots to kind of get in one of those, top 6, 7, 8 seeds or whatever.
Right.
Like, there's no team that jumps out at you. Like I said, other than the top 3, like the Chargers are losing games here and there. Like, I don't know, the Broncos, like the Jets, sure, but like it sucks that this is the year that the Patriots decided to kind of have their worst year since Tom Brady left. And I hate bringing that up, but it's horrible.
It is horrible. It's very annoying. And the thing that's horrible too is the Patriots, when they were 1-3, everyone kind of expected that would be a realistic start to the season, right? Because you had Philly and Miami, you played them competitively, and we all had optimism. We were all like, okay, They lost by one score to two teams, one that went to the Super Bowl last year, another one that looks like right now they go to the Super Bowl this year with the way they're playing. And then you beat the Jets. Obviously, they didn't have Aaron Rodgers, and we understand that. It was a 15-10 ugly game.
Mhm.
And then you even get blown out by Dallas. It's like, okay, fine. Like Dallas is looking like one of the top teams in the NFL, and they always do early on.
Yeah.
But I think, Mike, and you can agree with this, I think that turning point was getting shut out in a blowout loss at home to the Saints, because that was a winnable game because the Saints offense wasn't doing much. Derek Carr was coming off an injury. You know, you were at home, you were looking to bounce back after a bad win. I think that's when it kind of turned. And then this Vegas game, which I know we're going to talk about, this Vegas game where it was right there for you. You had multiple opportunities. The door was open and you couldn't just bust the door open. You had it slammed shut on you. And now it's like, okay, what are you going to do for the rest of this season? We know the Patriots are going to try to compete. Mm-hmm. But at this point, and I hate to sound like this fan, but I think given the circumstances and the strength of the schedule, do you just say, all right, let's punt on 2023? You have $100 million in cap space next year. You got a top 10 pick coming up in 2024. Do you reset and do you say, okay, we're going to shoot for 2024 to be the year?
So I agree. I think we'll look back at this season and say that Saints game was where the season pretty much took a turn for the worse, and pretty much like an irreversible turn there. Because like you said, I mean, going into that Cowboys game, you know, like you had a close loss against the Eagles. Cool. That was the moral victory week where we were like, no moral victories, blah, 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 whatever. Dolphins game, kind of annoying, but still you were in it. Like you were close towards the end. Like you said, you beat the Jets. You always beat the Jets. Awesome. Cool. Everything's good. Cowboys, like, I'm kind of reiterating everything you said, but you get blown out. You're 1-3. That Saints game, looking back, you needed to win that Saints game, because the Saints, like they're a fine team, but you're at home. You cannot get shut out by the Saints. Like they're not that good of a team. Like you needed to come out. You needed to beat them. Because then you go into the Raiders game, and like we were talking about, you beat the Saints, you go into the Raiders game. Hopefully you beat them. You're 500 going against the Bills.
Yep.
And if you can go 1-2 or 1-1 against the Bills in Miami here, you're right back on track. Because then you have that little that like winnable stretch that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. But they refuse to cooperate. So yeah, I think that Saints game was really the one. And I mean, kind of looking at the season as a whole. Before we jump into the Raiders game, it sucks to say, but I think you just keep doing what you like. People saying, sit Mac, trade, but see what you can do. Like, no, you have to keep playing Mac because he's better than Bailey Zappi or Malik Cunningham. And it's like, if you play Bailey Zappi, that gives a spark. Going to what you said, do you want a spark? Like, I don't think that gives you a spark. That might give you a spark for a game, but that doesn't that won't push you forward. If you want to compete and, maybe whatever, try to turn the season around or whatever, you can't. It's like you're walking a fine line where you can't take out your starting quarterback because you would be doing that just for this one game little spark thing. Bailey Zappi is not as good as Mac Jones. He's not a good option. So like you keep him in, and I think you're kind of punting without punting on it, where I think, this is the team that you have, where, you're going to go in, you're going to probably get the 8th or 9th pick, I would say, which sucks. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd be down if they say, fuck it, we're going to turn this around and be in it. And that, like, maybe those last two games matter against the Bills and the Jets, because I'm that fan. I can't embrace the full on tank. I just can't do it. But I think what will happen is they're just going to go with what they're doing. They're going to do what they're saying, continue to try to get better, try to win games. I just think that even if they do that purely with the talent and the skill and just the team right now, I don't think they're going to win that many games. And it sucks. Like, that's kind of where I'm at, where like, they have one win now. I mean, you look on there. So the next 3 games are your winnable games. Commanders, Colts, and Giants. Say you win 2 of those games. So that means you have 3 wins. Then you go into the Chargers, Steelers, Chiefs. You win one of those games, it's 4. Then you go Broncos, Bills, Jets. You win one or two of those games, we're looking at 6 wins.
Yep.
So like and that's kind of being hopeful, that you win 2 of those games against the Chiefs, Commanders, and Giants. I mean the Colts, Commanders, and Giants. So I don't know. It's a just shitty spot to be in because you're trying to sit there and look at the team and it's like, okay, you want to look towards next year where it's like a ton of questions. The main one being, what do you do with Mac Jones? You got a bunch of cap space. Like, do you keep Mac Jones and actually build around him and try to get like an actual threat and kind of shore up the offensive line? Or do you start over? And then if you start over, I see people saying, does that mean that you sell off a bunch of things and you keep some things and just try to exchange the quarterback? Like, what do you do? There's so many questions, and it's kind of a daunting thing to look at because as a Patriots fan, you've never been here because, you had Cam Newton after Brady left, and then you had the Mac Jones, Cam Newton offseason battle, and Mac Jones won, and he had a great rookie year. And I mean, it sucks to say, but I think we can kind of look at this now and say that Belichick and the Patriots as an organization failed Mac Jones because I don't think he's this bad. I think he started well and just you beat him down to the point where, and not like they purposely did things. I think just decisions were made that weren't right. And I think it's just you've pushed him to the point of no return where I don't know if you can salvage anything with him, at least on this team. Maybe you bring him somewhere else in some sort of different system, whatever. Like, do you think that Mac Jones can be salvaged at this point? Because I feel like that's the main thing. That and like all this Belichick talk where like, should he be gone and all that stuff. But like, what I want to talk about is the Mac Jones effective at all? And then we can kind of dip into his play within the Vegas game too in this convo. But like, where are you on Mac? Not for this year, because we know this year is kind of a lost year, but like moving forward with Mac Jones, like, do you think that they can try to salvage the last year of his rookie deal and like build around him and try to instill something in him? Or do you think they should just move on with him? Because I don't know at this point, and I'm a huge Mac Jones guy. I don't know what they should do.
I think truthfully, I think they should move on. Because you know what? And it's not any fault of Mac Jones. That's the thing. And I want you to understand that. I want you to understand this too. Because I know you're a big Mac Jones guy. And listen, I know we joke about, I hate Mac Jones, but I'm a big Mac Jones guy too.
Of course, yeah.
But the thing is, you have to realize something. You have to realize that Mac Jones here in New England right now in this given situation is not the guy, not the quarterback. And that is a little bit of his fault, and the little bit is making the bad decisions. And I know we're going to talk about it, but for example, the Raiders game, making a bad interception in the red zone. Now,
no, let's talk about that. Yeah.
the problem with that, Mike, is that this is not an anomaly anymore. This happens once in a while. This is becoming more routine, and you can't have it in the NFL. It doesn't matter who you are. And that's the problem that I'm having with Mac Jones now, is he's making too many mistakes, and we're expecting those mistakes to happen. Now, if you're going to start over, you might as well start over with someone that's going to come in, and hopefully you have one offensive coordinator for at least the first couple of years of your career, because Mac Jones has had to deal with Josh McDaniels in his first year before he took the Raiders job, Matt Patricia, and now Bill O'Brien. How many quarterbacks are going to succeed when you have 3 offensive coordinators in 3 years? Not a lot of them.
Not a lot.
With a beat up offensive line, with at best C- weapons, I'll say this, like Hunter Henry is not a C- weapon. He's a very, very good weapon. Like at his best, he's like a B+, A- type of weapon. Like I really love Hunter Henry. Mm-hmm. But you take a look at the rest of this and let's just break it down. You know what, Mike? Let's just forget about Vegas for now. Let's break down this receiving core for a sec and talk about it. Like, I'll make it quick. Here, I'll make it quick to save you.
No. We need to because we need to get to the bottom of this because everything sucks. Everyone sucks. Everything sucks.
Everything does suck. Put it this way, Mike. I'll ask you this first. Are there any receivers? Because I have one in mind. Are there any receivers that you keep after 2023 that you're confident in to be like, you know what? they are going to be a foundational piece of this offense going forward? Because I got one name in mind, and I'm sure you have the same name.
I'm not going to include the rookies in it, right? Are we including rookies?
Yeah, we can include the rookies.
Oh shit. Well, no, see, either way, I think I would say Kendrick Bourne, if we're being honest.
See, I wasn't even thinking Kendrick Bourne. I was thinking Pop Douglas, because you know
we'll
what?
see if we're actually like really like, yeah, I just kind of assumed they were there. So yeah, if we're talking about everybody, even though I know I just clarified that with you, I mean, he would be the one, because I mean, you look at everyone else, like, I think Pop Douglas would be the guy. He's coming back, by the way, returned to practice this week, so hopefully he comes back. But yeah, I think that would be the guy. Kind of looking at it, like, I know. Yeah, Pop Douglas. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, and listen, Kendrick Bourne, I would love to have him beyond 2023, but I think with what happened in 2022 and just kind of the way things are going, like, I don't expect him to want to stay here, not because he doesn't like the Patriots, but because he wants to win.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting to that point in his career. Like, he's going to be 29. That's old for a receiver, so now it's like, okay, I got to find my next team where they're in a good position to contend for a playoff spot and potential Super Bowl berth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not going to be in New England. So you know what? That's where it's like, yes, I am with you. You know how much I like Kendrick Bourne in this offense, but I just don't see it happening beyond 2023. But then you take a look at the rest of it. Thank God Liam's not on this episode, so we don't have to hear it from him. But Juju, so far, swing and a miss.
Oh my God.
So far.
I don't think I've ever been more wrong. I'm not saying that they should have kept Jacoby Myers either, because Jacoby Myers being here would not change the overall, like the stats might be better, but the team is still going to be the team. Juju was so far a swing and a miss. I mean, we're 6 games in, so it looks like that's what it's going to be, which sucks, but yeah.
It is. And Jacoby Myers, the only reason I would want Jacoby Myers here is because he would be, I think Mac Jones would be better if Jacoby Myers was here, because he was the security blanket for Mac Jones for those 2 years. And that's the reason that I would want him here, because
for sure. But I don't know if it changes the win-loss column.
It doesn't, but it gives you another weapon that is a good weapon, which is fine. And you can keep him from beyond 2023 as well. But anyways, like, who else is on this? Kayshon Boutte. I know that's you and Liam's guy, but they're not even playing.
Yeah, but I'm out on him, man. After he posted on Instagram a quick story that said "free me," and then deleted it. And I know that some people were saying maybe that's because he thinks he's good to come back from his concussion, but they're not. I never heard anything about him having a concussion, so I don't even, or like still suffering from that. That's not what I heard. I heard he's just been a healthy scratch. So, like, yeah, you can't be, bro. You're a rookie who vastly underperformed when you've been on the field. You can't be out there posting things saying "free me" on Instagram. This is the reason, part of the reason why you fell to where you did in the draft. Like, come on, dude. So yeah, Boutte, I'm hands off on him. Whatever happens with him happens. I'm good. I'm not in love with anybody on this team really right now, other than like a handful of people. So yeah, Boutte, whatever, man.
So Kayshon Boutte, like, exactly, whatever, man. Like, you do your thing. Like, you're probably not even going to be here next year if you keep up with shit like that. I mean, who else is there for receivers that we haven't? Oh, we have to talk about him.
Fingertips.
Fingertips, fingernails. We should call him, because apparently went off his fingernails. Devontae Parker, get the fuck off my team. Like, get off my team.
Devontae Parker, man. So just in case people know what he said, but they asked Devontae Parker about that pass that Mac Jones dropped in a bucket, a dime to him. The play before he got, or a couple plays before he got the safety. And he said, he got behind I'm paraphrasing, but he said he got behind the coverage and he thinks the ball hit him in the fingertips. So, probably one he should have, but, hit him in the fingertips. Bro, go watch the replay. There's you can go on Twitter right now, search Devontae Parker, and you can see the ball hit him in the meat of your hands, dude. Take some accountability, please. Everybody else on this team is taking accountability. Everybody else, from the coach to the quarterback to David Andrews to Kendrick Bourne to Hunter Henry, Gesicki, everyone's taking accountability. Bro, you just signed an extension. You can't sit there. All you have to say is, yeah, it's probably one I should have had. That's it. That's it. Don't say it might hit you in the fingertips. Yeah, Devontae Parker too. I mean, that's another questionable decision, extending him, even though I think that he's good. But like he just like everyone else has regressed. So yeah, Devontae Parker, dude, what are you doing? Catch that ball.
And you know what? It's leadership. That's the thing too. All you got to say, like you said, Mike, all you got to say after the game is, you know what? I should have had it. It was a great ball by Mac. I have to have that. Like
That's it.
we're gonna bring him up. But do you remember last year in the Raiders game last year when Jacoby Myers, after he did his stuff with the lateral, what he said in the locker room after the game? He
I
said,
don't remember the exact words,
but paraphrasing, like it was by mistake. That's never going to happen again. I lost us the game. Ramondre Stevenson said the same thing. Not that he's a receiver, but that's leadership. I lost us the game. I should have done this better. Like that's what you need in that locker room. And right now, Mike, I want to ask you, besides David Andrews, because David Andrews is an ideal captain for that Patriots team.
Yeah.
Who else do you really have for leadership?
I mean, I think the only name that jumps out to me, like obviously Mac is saying all the right things, but I don't know if I can, because he is so close to being, he's too close to being one of the main reasons the team is where it is. So like you can't like he is obviously taking leadership doing that, but I can't say I would say the only other one. I mean, Hunter Henry. I mean, he's been kind of out there, kind of saying the similar things that David Andrews has been saying. So he would be the only one. Like Kendrick Bourne is still out there, but he like not it's just different. I don't know. Like to me, it's David Andrews, Hunter Henry, and then I mean everyone else is kind of like still saying the right things, but it would really just be those two. That would be your veteran type leadership there, because Mac's only been in the league a few years, so he only has a certain amount. Kendrick Bourne, sure, but like he's more of your high energy, whatever guy. Like Mike Gesicki, only been there for a year. Like there's not as many people. I think Jawan Bentley's been saying the right things, Peppers, but like no, to me it's Hunter Henry. He's the only one that I might put up in that realm with David Andrews right now.
Right. And I was listening to, I forget which one it was. I think it was Solak and Bertrand on the way home from work. And they were saying that the Patriots pre-snap, just in the offense, pre-snap penalties are like top 5 in the league.
I don't doubt it.
And you know what other teams are up there, Mike, for pre-snap penalties? The Broncos, the Giants, the Colts. Yep. Yeah. And like, I don't think it's, listen, we've given it enough time. We were patient. But let's just face it. I'm going to sound like Trent Dilfer here a little bit. The Patriots are not a good football team right now.
I was just going to say that when you said the teams they were there. I was like, we have to come to terms with the fact that the Patriots are not a good football for many different reasons. They're just not a good football team.
They're not. Like, think of all the stuff, right? The coaching. And I'm not saying Bill Belichick necessarily, but look at like all the coaching that's supposed to be so good on this team. Like Adrian Clem. Now, I know you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. I understand that. But like Adrian Clem was a guy that came from Oregon, that Oregon led they led all college football last year in least amount of sacks given up for the quarterback. So it's like, this guy's got to know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'm willing to give him a little bit of a pass because look at what the line's gone through this year.
Exactly. A little leeway, a little bit. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, Bill O'Brien, can't really do what he wants to do because they're playing from behind every game.
Yep.
Who is the defensive coordinator? Like, who is the one that's calling the plays defensively? Like, I understand Bill's the head coach. I know Bill's a defensive guy, but don't you feel like that should be a Mayo or like a Steve Belichick something?
I think it is Steve Belichick, though. I'm pretty sure he's the one who's getting. I know that. Like, I don't think he has that exact title, but I'm pretty sure that he's the one calling the plays in. But still, it's like, it's just every, like the Patriots have gone from an organization where they like take your strengths and highlight them. This season, they're taking your strengths, diminishing them. They're taking your weaknesses and they're highlighting them. Like with everybody from coaching to players to schemes to everything. Because I don't think Adrian Clem is bad. Like you said, he proved he's good with Oregon, but like, there's just so many things. And then, like I've said the last few weeks, it all starts with the offensive line on offense. Like, of course, there's a bunch of other issues. But to me, if the offensive line was just a solid one, that would make it so Mac doesn't get as jittery, which would give the receivers more time to run their routes, which would give the running game more of a thing. So like it starts there, but I don't think that that's the only issue. But yeah, no, coaching staff. I'm pretty sure it's Steve Belichick, but still, like that. I mean, like who knows? Like there might be Belichick might be coming in there a little bit. Mayo might be throwing some things in there. Like Mayo has this like different hybrid role now, but
Yeah,
I don't.
it's whatever it is, right? You have too many things going against you, but it's happening all the time. And at some point, it's like, yeah, I know the players aren't skilled enough, but at some point, you do have to blame coaching a little bit.
Yep.
And you have to be like, these are things that we need to take care of during the course of a practice week. Like leading up to the Saints game, it was like, oh, the Patriots had a great week of practice. We saw none of that. They had another decent week against the Raiders. We saw a little bit more of that. We didn't see it as bad.
Yeah.
But the Raiders are bad too. I mean, look at everything that happened in that game. Handsome James goes down after the first half. Then they bring in old man Hoyer. First thing Hoyer does in the first couple plays, throws a bomb down the field because he had time. The Patriots couldn't get any pressure.
That's Jonathan Jones too, your best corner right now.
Yep. And not only that, and not only that, look at what that pass rush has come to ever since Matt Judon's gone down. Look at what the secondary has gone through since Christian Gonzalez went down. Now, granted, the other corners have been like Jack Jones had his stuff going on. Marcus Jones is obviously injured. Jonathan Jones has been battling injuries. I know that secondary is depleted, literally.
Yep.
But especially when Christian Gonzalez went down, it's like, oh shit. Okay. Now
you're fucking rolling out there with Miles Bryant and Sean Wade as your starting corners for that game. Like,
oh my gosh,
nice players, but not starters.
They're
Not your top two corners. No, and they both had good years for what it's worth. But like they're not 1-2 corners. They're 3-4, 4-5 corners at best.
Right, and that's the problem is that they're playing a bunch of 3s, 4s, and 5s right now. Because of, and it's not all their fault. They've gotten killed with the injury bug.
Yeah.
And I mean, killed with it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, they had Daniel Iquale is one that we don't talk about. That kind of messed up the pass rush a little bit. Like Judon, you brought up, Christian Gonzalez, you brought up, like Marcus Jones, you brought up, Jack Jones just being out, Jonathan Jones, another big one. And these aren't just like, other than Daniel Iquale, these aren't like second on the depth chart guys. These are your top guys on the depth chart getting hurt. Ramondre Stevenson's a little banged up. Cole Strange has been banged up. Mike Onwenu hasn't been healthy. Like there's a lot of injuries. And like, again, you can't blame that. The team hasn't played well, but the injury bug has also bitten them too. This season is the perfect storm of everything bad that could happen. Like Mac Jones regressing to a player you don't even recognize, like wide receivers kind of running lackadaisical routes. Like it's just so everything bad that could happen is starting to happen here. Like coaching has been bad. Like you said, I mean, you can't, everybody deserves blame here. Now I'm not ready to make any giant, aggressive move like, oh, coaching is bad, so let's just sack the entire coaching staff. No. Coaching can get better. Like, I don't think anybody on the coaching staff should be fucking jettisoned to college football or to Siberia or anything like that. But like,
except for Devontae Parker,
it's just, him, like, to round it back to him too. Like, I don't know. I know his contract isn't huge, so I'm sure you can trade him. Fuck it. Cut him, take the dead money, whatever it is. Like he's got to figure his shit out. Needs to. Like there was one play, I think it was on a 3rd down or something, but they showed the route that he ran.
Yep.
And it took him like 10 seconds to get out of his break while Mac Jones is fighting for his life because Vidarian Lowe's given up the 60th fucking quarterback hurry of the game. And it's like, these are the things where they just compound each other, where it's like the receivers not being on the same page or not being as crisp on their routes. Mac Jones having to wait. Mac Jones thinking there's pressure there when there isn't because the offensive line has been so bad. It's just, there's so many things, but it's just, it's not great. It's not great. So I think we kind of went off the point from what you were saying. I don't remember exactly where you were on it, but proceed if you remember where you were with that.
Well, it's fine because I want to ask you a question, and this is more of a 2024 question, but it it bears the thought, and it garners our attention. We need to pay attention to this. Let's just say, for the sake of the argument, they move on from Mac Jones. Let's just say they do.
Which I think they might. So I think that's a good assumption.
It might be. Who is your ideal quarterback for the Patriots in 2024 that is within reach and that you can get either via a trade, free agency, or in the draft?
Yeah. So my thing, I'm gonna look it up as I talk right now. So my thing, I don't follow college football as much to the NFL quarterback free agents. I don't follow college football quite as much. But ideally for me, what I would say is I would like to see them get one of these rookies and just rebuild there. Not a complete and total utter rebuild. No. That's not what I want. I don't think the team is that bad where they need to blow it up. I think they need to take some pillars out and change some things up. But I think, like, people talking about they got to fucking trade Uche, trade all these people. Well, I mean, let's calm down, because I think you have a very talented defense. They're a little injury ridden right now, but let's calm down there. The offense is where we got to go. So if we're talking quarterbacks, ideally, I would want them to trade up and get some rookie quarterback to build around, whether it's that dude. I don't think it's going to be Caleb Williams. I don't think he's going to fall that far. Who's the other guy?
Drake May from North Carolina.
Sure. I don't know shit about you, but everybody is saying that, you could be an option if the Patriots trade up. So let's do that. Stay to within shouting distance of the top 3 picks. So maybe have the 8th or 9th pick, trade up. I know you mentioned that they've only moved up a certain amount of picks in their history. Well, guess what? We're in unprecedented times. So move up, trade what you got to do, and get up and get one of those quarterbacks. But if not, I'm looking at the free agents right now. Kirk Cousins, Brian Tannehill, Baker Mayfield. There's really none that are there. Now, who's in the last year of their deal as a quarterback? Now, Dak Prescott only has one more deal with the Cowboys. Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence isn't going anywhere. Trey Lance to so really, and then Justin Fields. So I think if you're going to trade for someone, the 2 options are honestly Dak Prescott or Justin Fields.
I was going to ask you about Fields, so I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, so Field. I think I even I asked you guys about it, you and Liam in the chat. I wouldn't hate Justin Fields, because I think Justin Fields is suffering somewhat similar things to Mac Jones, where I think he just had such a poor start. Mac Jones is having a poor ending to his career with Chicago, where maybe just a change of scenery is what he needs.
Right.
So if that's what you want to do that. Like, try to move on, get Justin Fields and kind of build from there. He's still clearly young enough to build for the next 5, 6, 7 years or whatever. But still, ideally for me, I don't, because I'm going to turn the question on you. Yep. And I know that you and I spoke in text about something that you might want to do, and it might not even be next year, it might be another year down the line.
Right.
I'm more apt. I want this shit to happen now. I don't want another plate. Just fucking move on. If you're gonna move on clean sweep. You got a shit ton of money. Either draft someone, or honestly, if I had to pick, go get Justin Fields, because I'm sure the Bears wouldn't mind moving on from them. But I turn the question to you. What would you do if the Patriots are moving on from Mac Jones?
So if the Patriots are moving on from Mac, if I'm going the veteran, I'm going to call Chicago and say, hey, what do you want for Justin Fields? Because I like the element of the speed with the quarterback to be able to create plays with his legs. And that's something that you saw a little bit of in 2020 with Cam Newton. You saw Josh McDaniels was able to drop some plays for Cam Newton that you didn't see with Brady, because Brady is slow as molasses. But I think having the dual threat quarterback would be a blessing for Bill Belichick and for Bill O'Brien in that offense. And like you said, change of scenery could do, Justin Fields some good.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm going in the draft, if you don't take a quarterback this year and you want to do like a bridge quarterback for a year, I don't want to see it happen. But if you want to wait a year, I say you go get Shedeur Sanders from Colorado And I'm going to give the reasons, the same reasons I gave to you in the text message. I'm going to say on here. Here's why. I like the way that Shedeur Sanders commands the offense at Colorado. Now, granted, he has some really good receivers. Caleb Weaver, Jimmy Horn Jr., Travis Hunter. He has weapons. But I'm going to tell you something. The offensive line for Colorado is very similar to the Patriots' offensive line. They do not block well. Shedeur Sanders, I think at one point was completing 70% of his passes with that offensive line in front of him. Now, I'm not saying he's going to come in and break records. I'm not going to say he's going to be Tom Brady, but he has a couple of features that I really like about him. He's smart. He makes good decisions. He doesn't turn the ball over. He can step up in the pocket when he needs to. He can roll out of the pocket when he needs to, has a good arm, and has proven that in clutch situations, he can lead a team down the field to get them within a play or two of winning a game. I like all those intangibles in a quarterback. Now, is he perfect? No. Is he perfect? No. And I know you were against it just because of, I think, the waiting 1 year potential. And I know you're not, I think, and I'm paraphrasing for you, obviously, but you're not really a Shedeur guy, and that's fine.
And honestly, I don't know why. And again, it's just, I have heard people kind of say the same thing you have. Then I've heard people say, he has the Sanders last name, so whatever. I don't know for sure. My main reason is, like you said, I don't know if I want to wait a year.
And that's fine. Now, with that, can we shift gears for a second? Because I have a different question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I did this on my podcast, Legends Lingo. So I'm going to do this here with you. I'm going to name you 8 Patriots players. And I just want you to tell me if they are going to be on the team beyond the trade deadline, which is October 31st. And then if they make it past the trade deadline, are they here in New England next year in 2024?
Let's go.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
And we'll keep it 30 seconds or less for each of these. So this will be a quick 5 minutes. First name on the list, Kendrick Bourne.
Oh. I think I'm not going to go with my heart on these. I'm going with what I think. I think he's gone by the trade deadline. The only real tradable piece of this team.
I do too. And I think that especially if he has good games against the Bills and the Dolphins, I know. I hate it too, but I think he's going to be gone by October 31st.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Adrian Phillips.
I think he stays. And then maybe he's gone on the offseason because this is the last year of his deal.
I believe so.
Okay, yeah. I think he's gone at the end of the year in the offseason, but I think he stays.
Okay, I think he makes it through the trade deadline. And you know what? Surprisingly, I'm going to say that he stays because I think that the Patriots value the hybrid kind of model that he can do. He can play some corner. He can play some safety. And especially, you don't know what the corner room is going to look like next year. Will J.C. Jackson return? Will Christian Gonzalez be fully healthy? Will Marcus Jones be fully healthy? Will Jack Jones be able to make it through a season without getting into trouble? These are legitimate questions. These are legitimate questions. Will Jonathan Jones not be injured next year? So I think they find a way to keep him. I don't know why. And I like Adrian Phillips. He's an underrated player.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Jalen Mills.
Yeah, I think he stays. And then I also think that this isn't the last year of his deal though, right?
It is because he was released, then he signed back.
Yeah. Then he signed a 1-year deal. Yeah, I think he stays just out of pure necessity and his versatility, but I think he's gone in the offseason.
I think he's gone either way. If he's not gone by the trade deadline, he's gone in the offseason. On Twitter, he's complaining about his snap total. There's no way.
Yeah. I saw that. And it's like, dude, listen, God, why is he doing this to me? I like him. But yeah, I think he stays, gone at the end of the year.
Okay. Josh Uche.
I think he stays, and I think the Patriots sign him. They got enough money. Sign him. Judon's going to be gone in a couple of years. I think you sign him. I think he's a piece you build around him. Bentley, Anthony Jennings. It's a nice linebacking core. Then they'll probably draft someone too. Yeah.
I want to say he stays, but I just think they're going to, because they haven't talked to him about an extension yet. I think if they can trade him and they can get some pieces, I think they will. And I hate saying that. I do. I like Josh Uche.
Very good. Yeah.
I do, but I think he's going to be gone in one way or another. And I'm throwing up in my mouth saying that.
This is where we're at as Patriots fans. You start to think you want to sell things off to get picks. So I get it. I get it.
It's brutal. All right, next one. Kyle Duggar.
I think he stays, and I think this is another one in the offseason where people get pissed at Belichick. Like, you drafted him, you didn't want to sign him. I think he gets a huge contract with like the Giants or the Chargers or something like that. So I think he stays because I think the Patriots are going to want to try to sign him, but I think he's going to get priced out in the offseason, which is weird with a team that has so much money, but I think that's what's going to happen. Unfortunate.
I think he's going to stay the rest of this year, and I'm actually going to surprise you. I think they sign him to a long-term deal.
Yeah,
I think they sign him to
doubt it.
3-4 year extension, and I think they keep him for the foreseeable future. I think Duggar's here to stay.
Yeah, I mean, I also think I don't know how everyone thinks about him outside of New England. Like, and he's having kind of not a down year, but just a year where he's not making all these crazy plays like he's been doing. So I don't know. Maybe this year will end up helping him signing here. So who knows?
All right, this one I was going to say for the end, but this one's easy. So let's get this one out of the way before the two harder ones. Bailey Zappi.
Fucking gone. Get him the fuck out of here.
Gone.
Go to the Commanders, bro. See you later, man. Bye.
Just go somewhere. Go to the Bears and be a backup. Like,
dude, I don't even care where you go. Go to the Raiders.
Yeah, literally. He probably be starting quarterback for the Raiders. It's not even Zappi's fault, but it's what? It's if you're going to stick with Mac Jones next year, which who knows, or you bring in a quarterback. You have Malik Cunningham. You have Will Grier that apparently you really like too. So you have enough in that quarterback room. And you already got rid of Bailey Zappi once this summer.
Yeah, you can't have Zappi around because if you bring someone else in, the Bailey Zappi fantasy that some Patriots fans still have is still going to be here. So if you bring in a rookie and you have a rookie in Bailey Zappi, if that rookie starts to struggle, people are going to fucking start chanting Bailey Zappi and you're going to ruin another first round pick. Like, no, sorry, Zappi, nothing to do with you at all. Like, you've handled everything well. It's just go get starting money somewhere else. Sorry.
Yes. No, that's fine. All right. Trent Brown.
He's gone. I think he's here because you need him. And honestly, I think that he is good. Like he's just one of those players where like he's good in spurts and then he's bad in spurts. I think he's here and then he's gone at the end of the year. I think the offensive line is going to be a little reshuffled at the end of this, at the end of the season. So I think he stays, but gone in the offseason.
Okay. Last one. Mike Onwenu.
Now,
and by the way, just real quick, Trent Brown, I think, is gone too. Just to be clear.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Trent Brown experience, just like the Isaiah win, just not quite as bad, but yeah, I think he's gone. I think if Mike Onwenu didn't have some nagging injury, I think he'd be gone before the trade deadline. I don't know if he'd be worth trading, or if anyone would want to try to plug in a guard or a tackle, whatever, with a lingering ankle injury. You know what I mean? So I think he stays. It sucks because he's good. You and I, Liam wasn't too hot on him, but you and I were singing his praises. But I think the injury kind of derailed his year, just like it's derailed the Patriots season. Yeah, I think he's gone at the end of the year too, unfortunately, because I think you have his replacements in-house in City So and Antonio Mafi. So I think one of them will step up. So I like them both.
You better hope so. But for some reason, I think the Patriots want to have Onwenu there. They want to have some solidarity on that offensive line. So it wouldn't surprise me if they re-signed him. I think they'll re-sign him, truthfully. But we'll see. But yeah, no, that's all I got for
those are them. Those are those are them. So I mean, it's one of those things where you're coming down to it. And I don't think we're going to cover the Raiders game. The Raiders game sucked. Mac Jones threw a horrible pick. The only good thing that came from that was the Peppers hit on Devontae Adams. That was awesome. But I don't even want to talk about any of the good or bad things. Like at this point, it doesn't matter. Because like you said, all the penalties and everything, you're in the bottom of the league with all that. You're in the bottom of the league with a bunch of the stats. Eventually, even your most staunch Patriots honks or supporters have to look at that and say, you're 6 games in now. You're not 4 games in. You're not 3 games in. You're 6 games in. You're not losing games because of fluke plays or because of unlucky things or because of whatever. You're losing plays because you're not doing enough, or you're losing games because you're not doing enough to win the games. You're having too many mental mistakes, too many physical mistakes, too many just bonehead things. Like I think this team right now is a 1-5 team. Like it sucks to say. And I get, finally, all you Patriots haters, you can all love it. You know, you're sitting there hating the team, loving that this is happening. I have a question or just kind of a statement that I want to pose to you that I want to get your thoughts on. Mm-hmm. The general vibe around this NFL season, I don't know if you've heard it. I've heard some people talk about it. They were talking about it on Barstool Sports as well. But the general vibe of this year seems kind of shitty. People are like, you know, how many good games have there been? Like, there's really no great team. Like, interest is still there, but like, it's not like, it's just different and whatever. And, you know, it's there's no like real great teams to hate, to love. Like, there's the Chiefs, there's Taylor Swift, there's like Lamar Jackson. Like, the Ravens aren't even a thing right now. Like, there's no, like, the Bengals sucked for a little bit. They're coming back, like the Chargers, whatever. Like, the Bills aren't even that interesting. The craziest storyline going on right now is the Jets. That's not good for anyone. Like, I was sitting here and I had an epiphany, and I told my wife about it. I wanted to bring it up with you. The Patriots ruined football for everybody, because for 20 years, everybody, you were one of two things. You loved the Patriots or you hated the Patriots, sometimes even more than you liked your own team. And whenever the Patriots would somewhat fumble, you'd see a lot of Patriots fans talking to all the people who were talking shit and being like, hey, be careful what you wish for, because when the Patriots aren't good anymore, you're not going to have anyone to root against or to root for or anything like that. So what's happening now? The Patriots are no more. And you're seeing, I feel like you just have a lot of displaced emotions right now. The Patriots carried the NFL for 20, 25 years. Now that they're not there, no one knows what to do. Like, with all the parity going on, people just think that it means the NFL sucks. No, this is how the NFL should be. There are no great team. You know, there's no, it's the Patriots, the Colts, and everybody else. And it's the Saints and the whoever and everybody else. No. There's really no great, and no one has the villain to hate. When the villain is gone, think of Marvel movies would have been nothing without Thanos. They would just be a bunch of superhero. It's what's happening right now. People are talking shit about the Marvel movies because there's no big bad guy to hate. The Patriots are gone, and you people don't know what to do with yourselves. And great, maybe this is some of my Patriots fan coming out, but it's just very funny because I was one of those people too, where I was like, listen, you all want the Patriots to suck. You want them to go away. Be careful what you wish for, because it seems like you like to hate the Patriots more than you like to cheer on your own team. If your own team starts to fumble a little bit, at least you can be like, oh, well, fuck the Patriots. I hope the Patriots lose. I'm going to root for whatever team, or half root for whatever team is playing the Patriots. Now that you don't have that, it's like you have to deal with your own shitty team's future, you know? Like, it's just funny to me. It just seems like things are kind of, and then, because think about it. Who's the villain right now to hate? The Chiefs?
It really is.
Not really. People only hate the Chiefs just because of the whole Taylor Swift thing going on, which kind of feels like it's not like a deep hatred, you know. It's like I guess, you know, we'll hate them, you know, things are getting fixed, whatever. There's really no villain. People don't hate the Bills. People don't even hate the Jets. Who in the NFC? No, the Cowboys are always going to be there, but like, it's such like a weird, like, built-in hatred, whatever. There's no teams to hate right now. So all you people that wanted the Patriots to suck, there you go. You got your wish. You got it. There you go. Good for you. Now what? You don't know what to do with yourself. So I was just thinking that. I saw it and it's like, I don't know. I'm connecting the dots between it, even though I know that it may not be there, but it's just funny. Like, people, like, all the storylines, like, no one seems too invested. Like, it's kind of like whatever way the wind's blowing. People love Josh Allen. Then Tua's doing well. And then, like, people are still kind of off the Dolphins now. Like, people are kind of sick of them a little bit. It seems like, you know, the Eagles were the bee's knees. Now they lose one game and it's like, oh my God. So, like, it's just funny to me. Like, the Patriots were the one constant. Now that they're not there, everyone's kind of like, shit, now we have to, like, actually find something to root for, or like a storyline other than the Patriots. Damn, what do we do? So just kind of a funny thing that I noticed there. I don't know if you feel the same way.
So I don't feel the exact same way, but here's what I will say to your point. Let's connect a couple more dots here, and let's connect it not just to football, but to other sports too. Starting with the football, right? Obviously the Patriots for 20 years, the 2000s Patriots and 2010s Patriots were hated by all non-Patriots fans. The 90s Cowboys, the 80s 49ers, the 70s Pittsburgh Steelers were all hated because they won. And look at the teams that are in different sports. Look at it in baseball right now, the Houston Astros. Besides being cheaters, why does everybody hate them? Because they've been to 7 consecutive ALCS. They've been to like 5 World Series. Why did people hate the Celtics and the Lakers back in the day? The bad boy Pistons when they won 2 titles? Because besides being dirty and besides being good, they won. And that's when, to your point, when teams stop winning, it's like, okay, who am I going to hate next? The Kansas City Chiefs, obviously the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing helps fuel the fire. But when you have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid winning 2 Super Bowls in 5 years and getting to the Super Bowl in 3 of those years, obviously that's the new team on the block to hate. That's the team that everyone has to beat. That's the team that everyone has to go through in order to win a Super Bowl. Unless you get a year like 2021 where you have like the Rams and the Bengals, a really weird year, which was still a fun Super Bowl, by the way. I love that Super Bowl.
That was awesome. Yeah, feels like a fever dream, but yeah, I forgot about it.
Oh, it was great. It was so chill. It was like, this is perfect. We can just root for both teams and whoever wins.
Everybody have fun.
Exactly. But that's kind of to your whole thing. I like the abstract thinking and the out of the box thinking, but I think it is, just people hate to see success for long periods of time. Yeah, that's what it is. They want, something new. Like if there could be a new winner every single year, I think people would like that because it's like, okay, it's not the same thing. Yeah. Like one year it's the Chargers, the next year it's the Browns, the next year it's the
Bengals.
Again, next year it was the Bengals. Yeah. Next year it's the Saints. Whatever. Like, I think people would kind of like the unpredictability factor, but it's also when you're in it and you're a fan, it's like, it's the best thing in the world because to quote Barstool, to quote Dave Portnoy, it's the, take on the Patriots in the AFC Championship sweepstakes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what it was. And it's like, you really, the Chiefs are that team now, but even like, you're starting to see like there's holes in their games now. You know what I mean? It's like there's no dominant team. It's just kind of funny. I mean, like the Bengals, they were hot for like a year and a half. And like I know that they're still a good team, don't get me wrong, but like whatever, the Chargers, everybody liked them for like 5 games one year. And then it's like, now they're just kind of what the Chargers have always been. It's just, I don't know. It's funny to see which makes me hate the way this Patriots season is going even more, because like I said at the beginning, this is the year where like you could have snuck in and you could have made some noise. Thinking back to all the takes that we had looking at this season, like looking at the schedule, it's like we were bamboozled. Like we were sold a bill of goods that we did not get. But yeah, it's just it sucks. It sucks. That's really like the main thing with it.
It is. So some may say we were also led astray, run amok, bamboozled, hoodwinked.
we were. I mean, looking at, and again, so kind of just like an overall look at the team right now. Like going forward, you have to start Mac Jones. I think Zeke looks good, but I don't think it benefits him to play him more than Stevenson. I don't know. Stevenson kind of started to look a little bit good, came out a little bit with an injury, but he came back in the game. But like, I think you have to start Mac Jones. You have to start figuring things out on offense because you can't lose the locker room. I feel like you're at that time right now where if the coaches even show that they're kind of laying back a little bit, which I don't think they will, kind of judging by who's there, Bill O'Brien, Gerard Mayo, Belichick, Steve Belichick, like that, Troy Brown, those guys aren't just going to sit back and say, fuck it, like we're going to punt on the year. So like, I think you still try to win games, but like, I think going into next year, you keep the whole coaching staff. Belichick as a head coach, Bill O'Brien as an offensive coordinator, Adrian Clem. Like, I don't want to be one of those teams where you have a bad year when you try something new and it's like, oh shit, we got to panic and get rid of some things. Like, no. That's how you stay a bad team. That's how Mac Jones stays a bad quarterback. 3 offensive coordinators, 4 if you want to throw Joe Judge in there too, because him and Patricia kind of mixed it up a little bit together. Like, you need consistency. So like, keep the coaching staff, like come together as a fucking group at the end of this year and say, okay, what are we doing? First and foremost, are we sticking with Mac? Because that's going to dictate everything. If you stick with Mac, then it's like, cool. What are we bringing in to help him? Because if he's on the last year of his rookie deal. So you're going to bring him in. Hopefully he does well. So then you re-sign him, or at least maybe you can, like, I don't know. See, that's the thing with keeping Mac. I can't talk myself into keeping Mac because it's the last year of his deal. So what do you hope? That you build around him and he plays well, and then what, you sign him again for a few years? Like, would that be what you would do? Or like, you're not going to trade him because he's on the last year of his deal, so he's not going to play well for a year, and then like you sign him just to trade him? Like, I don't know. Sell me on trying to keep on reasons to keep Mac.
I'm not going to. I was gonna ask you this. Do you think Mac even wants to stay in New England?
So that's another thing. I don't know. I wouldn't blame him if he didn't want to, like, I think he might see, and like, you know what? I think the writing is on the wall. The relationship was good, but like, you guys just had one big fight that went too far, and it's like, you can't come back from it. So I don't think that you can keep Mac, which sucks because I think he is good. But what makes me kind of okay with thinking this way is I think he has just, both with a little bit with his own actions, but really with how he was brought along, or lack of being brought along here, I think there's just been irreversible damage done to him. I think his mind is toast right now. And like, you see it with some of the plays, some of the decisions. He's feeling pressure when it's not there. He's rolling out, missing a wide open Hunter Henry. Mac Jones is so much better than that. Like, Dan Orlovsky even tweeted out, because he goes over all the film. He was like, you can't find more than 5 plays where a quarterback could have succeeded in this offense. So like, I think you just got to move on, which sucks. So at this point, just play Mac Jones, move on at the end of the year, either try to trade for a quarterback that's on the last year of his deal, or draft a quarterback. Who's that guy? Penix, the left-hander.
Michael Penix, kid from Washington.
I wouldn't mind having a left-handed quarterback. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's get nuts. But like, draft a quarterback and then actually fucking build him. Build an offense around him. Like, get him a weapon too. You can draft a quarterback and then still get him a top flight weapon. It's possible. It's very possible. Get him T. Higgins.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind that.
And that's why when they didn't sign DeAndre Hopkins, that was another reason why I was upset about the lack of the signing, because it could have helped. I'm not saying it changes the whole season.
Looking back, I am right there with you, because I thought that they could roll with what they had, but clearly something went astray. So yeah, DeAndre Hopkins should have signed it.
Yes, should have. I'm glad we can die on that hill now. And again, it's not to beat a dead horse, but it's like, I hate to say this, Mike, but it's true now. You need a number 1 receiver. You need a guy that you can depend on, because on this Patriots team, there's 2 minutes left. You need a big catch. Who's going to make it for you? Right now, the only guy you can say is Kendrick Bourne. Devontae Parker proved it. Devontae Parker proved that you cannot, and I repeat, cannot catch a ball in a big situation when he's supposed to win 80-20%, 80 to 20% on those plays. Like, no, you didn't do it, and you can't do it. So you know what? Go get a T. Higgins, like you said, or go get somebody. Go make a trade. You know what? Get a little ballsy. Call Minnesota. See what it would take to get Justin Jefferson there. Because I'm going to tell you something, Mike. They're on the verge of being a rebuilding team too. Because Kirk Cousins is going to leave. Jefferson might not want to stay there for a rebuilding situation, and I think they're going to tear that down.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. That's kind of been the word going around the NFL right now. So they're the free agent wide receivers, Mike Evans, Curtis Samuel. I mean, you want to get Nelson Aguilar? You like that?
No, I don't.
T. Higgins is, really the name there. Kind of looking along, and then to see like who's in the last year of their deal. Maybe you can make a trade for someone there. Keenan Allen, but he's old. Is he 32? He's fine, but I want to get like a younger guy there. So, I mean, Amari Cooper's 30. I mean, I don't know who else you're looking at there. DeAndre Hopkins will be available. He only signed a 2-year deal with them. So I don't know. Like, I think Jerry Jeudy would be on his last year. CeeDee Lamb, but the Cowboys aren't trading anyone. Justin Jefferson, like you said, next year he'd be on the last year of his deal. So maybe you do that. But I don't know. I think maybe if you could listen, fuck it. Let's just talk. Let's talk real. They have the money. Sign T. Higgins and fucking draft someone. Doesn't need to be Marvin Harrison Jr. because you're probably not going to get him if you're going to move up and try to get a rookie quarterback. So ideally, get a rookie quarterback, sign a number one big wide receiver, and then draft one too, and then roll into the year with whoever. What's his name? Drake May. That's his name, right?
Yeah, Drake May.
Yeah, roll into the year with him, T. Higgins, Pop Douglas,
Stevenson,
Booty, I guess. Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson, and then rookie receiver X. Sign Hunter Henry, maybe draft another tight end. Go on from there because the Patriots have no tight ends on their roster for next year. So
they don't. I'll tell you what. Resign Hunter Henry to like a 2-3 year extension. And you know what? If Jasicki can't find anything, give him a 2-year extension. I'm fine with both of those.
Yeah,
guys.
dude, roll with them again. Yeah, I have no issue with them. No issue with them at all. But yeah, I think there's so many things that you can do in the offseason this year. There's no excuse. You've seen it now. The way that you're trying to build the team has not and did not work. Valiant effort. Good for you. You thought that you could continue to do what you've been doing for 20 plus years. I understand it. I was there with you. But you're looking at a 6-game sample size here. At the end of the year, you'll be looking at a 17-game sample size that I guarantee you is not going to be much different than it is right now. If you're kind of building it out, what it's going to look like. You got to go into the year, first and foremost, figure out what you're doing at quarterback. You're probably going to move on from Mac Jones. If you keep him, I'm fine with that, but you better build around his ass. But move on from Mac Jones, get a rookie, or try to get a Justin Fields, Dak Prescott, whatever. But Justin Fields would be the guy I would want. And then get a number one guy, T. Higgins. Draft a no-brainer wide receiver. They're falling off the tree like fucking ripe apples right now. Like everybody else seems to be getting great wide receivers in the draft, except the Patriots. They probably found something with Pop Douglas, but like grab a high draft pick. Get back into the first round, trade some players in the offseason, try to figure out what you're doing. Because you can't do that. New England isn't a place where you can take a year off and try to fucking have some gap year. You did that with Cam Newton. It sucked for everybody. No one liked it. You swung with Mac Jones, you hit a foul ball, and then you struck out. Oh no, like it is what it is. You tried. We all thought it was going to work. It didn't work. So this offseason, you got to go into it. Enough of the let's find a diamond in the rough. Let's find the fucking diamond that's on top of the goddamn hill that everybody else sees. We don't need to go around it. We don't need to make it harder for ourselves. Like just sometimes the obvious choice is the right choice. Like just do it. Just do it. Draft AJ Brown. Draft Deebo Samuel. Don't draft N'Keal Harry. Like, I don't know. It just, I'm both worried and optimistic about what's going on in the offseason. But for the rest of this year, I'm still going to watch the game. I'm just like, you know what? Just make these fucking games entertaining. That's all I want. All I want. And then I don't care how bad you are. I don't care if you don't win another game this year. You beat the Jets at the end of the year because that would be fucking hilarious. No matter how bad the Patriots are, no matter how bad, they still beat the Jets. They still beat the Jets because that will stay with them forever. Aaron Rodgers will be dreaming of Bill Belichick. But yeah, I don't know. Did you have anything else you wanted to touch on with this episode? Another fucking doom and gloom goddamn episode.
It is what it is. I'm just trying to think. I thought there was one other thing that I was going to bring up. And I think it was going to be from the Raiders game too.
That fucking.
How about just real quick? How about Brian Hoyer throwing the ball 30 yards downfield in the first play?
Dude, but that's how you know it's bad. You were seeing all the jokes on Twitter where it's like, you know, it's bad when fucking 88-year-old Brian Hoyer is coming in there and carving up your defense. Like defense also, you don't get any more passes, guys. All right. You got to make some stops. Okay. You're getting paid. You're talented players. I understand there's injuries, but you're playing the Raiders. You got to make some stops. You're not even playing the Raiders. You're playing the backup Raiders with Brian Hoyer. Make stops. Like that's it. Devontae Adams was a little shaken up. Like, let's go. You're letting Brian Hoyer and Jacoby Myers beat. What the fuck? Like it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. So I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I had. Just kind of the rest of the year. You make it entertaining. I want to have fun watching these games. If they can pull out a win against the Bills, that would be electric. Electric. I would love that. But I will say there is nothing that could happen this year that will change how I feel now. I'm done. One of the most optimistic Patriots fans are out on the season. I know that this is a no-go season, kind of a punt of a year. So let's just see what we have. Let's see who we're going to keep at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Hopefully Pop Douglas has a big year. That'd be nice. Jack Jones is coming back, I guess. So that's another thing we'll kind of end with. So I don't know, his like 15-day or whatever thing is activated. So hopefully he's back, but I don't know. You have anything else?
Nope.
Yeah. So, yeah, another just shitty ass weekend of football. So hopefully, predictions for the Bills game, not even a score, just kind of overall feelings.
I mean, I can give you my score because I already picked the score.
Sure.
earlier.
Yeah, dude. What's the score? Yeah.
31-10 Bills.
31-10. Cool. Yeah. I'm going to go, I'll go 24-13. I hate to say it, but Bills, maybe Mac Jones throws a touchdown. I don't know. Who knows? Shit.
Oh, that's too much. That's too much.
Yeah,
for me.
I know. God, dude, just don't throw a pick. Like that's it. Just one game. Don't throw a pick. The one game you didn't turn the ball over, you won. It was against the Jets. Like, just don't turn the ball over. And like, who fucking knows? Oh, since Liam's not here, Zeke, great fucking game. Great game from Zeke.
Some might say that he scalped the defense.
He's got, yeah, no, we'll end on that. We can't get better than that. So yeah, no goodbye, no sweet feet at the end. Patriots fans, just try to have fun. All right. See you next week. I will not be here. It'll be an Al and Liam episode next week. So have fun with that. Hopefully you guys have something fun to talk about. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Go Pats.
Yeah, go Pats.